if you keep saying things like, I ate so bad last night, or I ate so good today, that's exactly why you're not losing weight. All right. This is the thing is we have a really hard time in this day and age, in this society, with the internet, not attaching good and bad or any moral value to our eating. So let's talk about that today. Hi, I'm Beth. I'm your personal trainer and cannabis educator, and this is the Canna Fitness and Nutrition Podcast, where we talk about things like cannabis and fitness, nutrition, and how it all intersects and some of the psychology behind it. And today we're going to talk about how you talk and the language that you use and why that matters. I have clients repeatedly say to me, I was so good yesterday. I ate so good. Why am I not losing weight? Or I was so bad this weekend. I ate so bad. And it ends up being a cycle. Here's what I see. I see women and men trying to eat so good, right? Quote unquote. I'm using finger quotes. So does quote unquote so good. And usually that means they ate the way they feel like they should eat for their goal, right? Based on any arbitrary rules they may have picked up along the way, right? An Instagram influencer said, do this. TikTok said, avoid this, and then what happens is they are in this, I'm good, which a lot of times is, I ate, 3 pieces of lettuce and a protein bar and an apple, and I lived on iced coffee for a day. And then it transitions into, I was so bad. I ate fries and a burger and 3 pieces of pizza, and I was so bad, right? And then to get off the bad cycle, they're like, I'm going to eat so good today. So today I'm just going to have my egg bites, my coffee, and a protein bar, and I'm going to try to be so good, right? This is good and bad, like as if there's like this moral judgment to food. And it's just this hamster wheel that I see perpetuate the cycle of, it's really the binge and restrict cycle to lesser degrees, right? It could be very minor. It doesn't have to be all out binging, and it doesn't have to be all out restricting, but it's a sense of that you're doing something correct, right? Or you're doing something wrong. And when it comes to eating, that's exactly why we're never satisfied with what we're doing, with what we're eating, with our weight, with our body, because we're stuck in this pattern of thinking that there's a right and a wrong. And there is no right or wrong when it comes to food, because we're paying attention to the wrong thing. We need to be paying more attention to our bodies and what's going on inside of our bodies. And when I say that, I mean we need to eat more in terms of, pleasure for one, because that's one of the best things about food is that it gives pleasure. One of the next best things about food is that it gives us energy, right? Are you eating for energy, or are you eating to justify, right? Are you eating to follow a rule, right? Are you eating why are you eating? Energy and satisfaction should be a huge part of it versus, I had 4 carrot sticks because TikTok said that if you eat carrot sticks, it burns fat, like crazy things like this. Like I have a client, here's an example. I have a client who every time she goes out to eat, she eats salad, right? Why? Because she feels like she should, because she is afraid she feels like she should not enjoy the food at the restaurant. She feels like that is bad and that will make her gain weight. So she always eats a salad because that's safe for her. It's good. She's intent on being good because she's afraid to gain weight, right? And of course, this is so common because it's hard to freaking lose weight, right? Like it's hard work. And it feels like hard work because again, we're so focused on this right, wrong, good, bad. And what we really need to do is just stop taking words like good, bad, right, wrong out of our food and out of our eating habits and just focus on what's going on in our bodies. Like to my one client that eats salads every time, I'm always like, did you enjoy it? Like, was it good at least? And she'll say, or did it taste good? Was it pleasurable? Meaning, and she'll say, yeah, but then she'll say, this is what kicks me, is she'll say, oh, but, Mary next to me that looked really delicious. Mary had, I don't know, a burger next to me and that looked so delicious. And I was like, well, then why didn't you get that? It's one thing. Our weight is not going to fluctuate as much as we think it's going to. There was a lot, we get so nervous around food, and I think we get so focused on trying to be perfect all the time or trying to micromanage our food, and it really isn't that, it's not that intense. You can eat a lot more freely than you think you can if you're listening to your body. Here's what gets you in trouble. What causes weight gain is eating past fullness. So first you have to know what it feels like to be satisfied when you eat. You have to know what it feels like to be full when you eat, and you have to know what it feels like to eat past fullness. That's what's going to make you gain weight, is eating past fullness. And you know what? Quite frankly, that could happen from eating a salad. You could eat a giant salad past fullness with mega dressing on it, and you could still gain weight. So stop thinking that there's good food and bad food, right? Don't let the TikTokers convince you. There is definitely strategy to nutrition about how to manage weight, but it's more about how you're fueling your body and what it feels like in your body. And here's the other important thing that I want you to understand. When someone says to me, oh, I ate so bad over the weekend, I'm like, okay, let's pause. Tell me exactly what happens. And 8 times out of 10, what happens is some form of they didn't eat enough and they went overboard. Because I've talked about this a lot, and this is pretty common knowledge in the fitness space, is that when we restrict food and tell ourselves we can't have things, right, trying to be good, or just saying that, burgers are bad for you or something like that, right, your body wants it more. And your body starts to crave food. If you skip breakfast and lunch, your body will crave more food and you have more propensity to go overboard. So what's the solution then? What I do, if someone says they ate so bad over the weekend, I'm like, okay, pause here. Tell me what really happened. Go walk me through every single detail. And a lot of times it's, well, I woke up late and then I had to rush to my gym class, and then I was late and then I had to rush and I didn't get a chance to have my post-workout snack, and so I had to rush to a baby shower, and then I was too busy talking to eat, so then I rushed right to a soccer game, and then I started drinking, and then next thing I knew there were fries, and of course that happened. Did you hear your whole day? There was no fuel along the way. You weren't satisfied. Your body was trying to catch up. There are reasons why these things happen. What we really need to do is watch our language and take the emotion out of it. So instead of moaning and groaning about how bad you ate Saturday night when you were out, we need to back up and look at the strategy that you used all day, all week. Did you starve yourself? Did you purposefully restrict food all week because you knew you were going out on Saturday night and you knew you were going to have drinks? Did you did you accidentally or inadvertently not eat enough during the day Saturday because you were so busy that you didn't plan to eat, and then it caught up with you when you finally sat down with your friends, right? What actually happened? One exercise that I love that I would suggest that you try, and if you want to send it to me in email, I would love that. You're totally welcome to, is describe what happened, what you're eating over the past 48 hours without using any judgment words. This is a great exercise. So here's an example. I'll go with Sunday because it's just somehow more vivid in my mind right now. So Sunday morning, I had breakfast. I was hungry. I went for a walk. I was hungry. I had breakfast. I went and got Starbucks because I wanted a treat, and it tastes good. It was hot, it was cold out, so I got hot coffee. Lunchtime rolled around. I was hungry, but I was kind of feeling this. I didn't want to make anything, so I ate cottage cheese out of a container until I was satisfied, and then we went on with our day. I think I watched a movie, and then I was hungry again. My husband made pizza on the grill. I had 2 pieces. We split it. I had 2 pieces and a salad. I was perfectly satisfied. I also finished a pint of ice cream I had been working on for 3 days, and I finished it, and that was all that happened on Sunday. Right? There's no good, bad. You might be cringing when I say pizza or finish a pint of ice cream. Like, some people might have feelings about that. Like, ooh, that's bad. Or, oh, I don't know. What if that makes you gain weight? I don't know. That's so much sugar. I don't know. Those are carbs. Like, you might be having like fears and thoughts around those foods. But the reality is, there's no judgment in that, right? I ate, if you listen to what I said, I went for a walk, I was hungry. I ate, right? And then I said, I was hungry, but I didn't feel like making anything. So I ate cottage cheese, right? Then I was satisfied. I ate till I was satisfied. And then I moved on with my day. And then I was hungry again. And then I ate what was available. I had 2 pieces, was satisfying. I could have had more if I wanted to, but I had salad. I was full. And then I wanted some pleasure, so I finished up that pint of ice cream, right? None of that is good, bad, or any other emotion. I've taken all of the emotion out of it other than the pleasure, right? Because food is pleasurable. And that's what helps me stay in this constant state of food is fuel, food is pleasure. Food is not emotional. There's no emotion to it. I'm eating for satisfaction, energy, and pleasure, right? Probably in that order, maybe in the other order, maybe energy first, satisfaction, maybe energy and satisfaction are tied. I don't know. Okay, I'm going to move on. So anyway, it's just a great exercise to watch your language because your nervous system is registering everything you say. And that's exactly why you're stuck in the cycle of I ate bad, I ate good. I ate bad, I ate good. I was bad, I ate chips. I was good, I ate salad. In reality, you're focusing on the wrong things. You're totally missing the point. You need to eat based on what your body wants. And when you do that and you listen to it, that's when you start to lose weight. And that's when maintaining your weight becomes really easy. Because once you are aware of what the satisfaction feels like for you, we call it, I like the 80% fullness route. Full is one thing, over full is another feeling, but that 80% full is a nice place to kind of stop when you're eating. And it takes a little practice to do that. I mean, that's what's hard about managing weight, managing your eating to begin with, because it's eating and you have to eat. So you have to do this several times a day. And it is hard to learn this skill, but you get lots of practice, right? And once you learn where that fullness level is in you, what the energy feels like that you get from food, what it feels like to eat and actually be like, all right, let's go. I'm ready now. I had fuel. My body, I got my blood sugars up. I'm ready to go conquer that meeting, conquer the mall, conquer whatever, you got to learn what that feels like in your body. But let me tell you, it's a lot easier than following food rules, that's for sure. And you can just start to ignore the TikTok and Instagram, Facebook people that are out there telling you that, Brussels sprouts are good and carrots are bad or whatever the thing is today, right? Because there's always going to be that. And I know it's a lot of noise. Just try to push it out of the way. Focus on what your body wants, because once you start paying attention, you're going to find out really quickly what foods your body likes, what foods give you energy, what foods are satisfying, and those foods are going to keep you at your ideal weight. They're going to help you either lose weight or maintain weight. So that's my little lesson for you today. I hope that was helpful and maybe interesting. I love the exercise of taking the emotion out of it. Again, if you want to try it, send me an email. I would love that. My email is beth@cannafitnessnutrition.com. I hang out on Instagram mostly. It's Beth_Canna Fitness Nutrition. And if you have any other questions or anything you'd love to hear me talk about on the podcast, I would love that as well. Thanks so much for listening, and I will see you next time.